Thank you for tuning in with Kicking It with the Calvins. Here's another video we have for you, giving some helpful tips for, I guess, a successful marriage, and these are things that's worked for us.
Yeah.
And for this particular video, we're going to be covering our initial expectations and then our reality, and then the compromises that we had as far as things that were negotiable, non-negotiable. And for this particular category, we're going to be talking about the everyday life as far as what we consider the fun category of what we had before marriage and then when we first got married, and how our expectations and our reality was kind of lopsided. They were different.
Yeah. Well, the first thing that I want to talk about is fun. Like, when I first got married, I thought it was going to be fun. I thought it was going to be always fun, always partying, turned up, because that's what we did when we first got together. We dated for 8 years, and we've been married for 17. So initially, being that we were so young, we dated, we went to parties, we had a lot of fun, did a lot of spontaneous stuff that teenagers do. And so we had a lot of fun. And plus, we both goofy. We just liked each other. So when I got into my marriage, I thought it was going to be super duper fun, everything fun. And when we first got married, baby, we had a house.
We had just got a house.
I was working in IT. He had just started his career as an accountant. It was a lot. It was stressful. I was tired. I was stressed, and I was just like, Lord, this ain't nothing fun about this. What's fun about that? Nothing. So in my mind, I'm like, this is not what I expected it to be.
And see, I was the opposite, where I kind of knew, I guess in that situation, I'm more of a realist, where I'm like, okay, when we were dating, this is before we had any type of what I would consider significant responsibilities. Like, before we got married, we didn't have any kids.
Right.
You know, we didn't live together at that point in time. Well, we did for a little bit. We were shacking for a little bit, but we still didn't have the type of responsibilities that you have when you get married and you have kids. So like I said, most of our dating, I stayed with my parents, she stayed with her parents. So we weren't with each other all the time. As far as, waking up with each other in the morning, it would be, we have our, time together, and then we go home to our parents or whatever. And then we'd have any kids. And so what we had to do was just be concerned and take care of ourselves. That's it.
Yeah.
So,
even when we were shaking. Yeah.
So I knew that once we got married, I'm like, okay, everything is going to have to merge together. We're going to have to be, holding each other accountable. We're going to have to maintain a household. We're going to have to help raise a child. This is our first child. So it's like, how do you raise a child? What does it take to raise a child? How much does it cost to raise a child? So at that point, that kind of zaps out some of the fun to where you're like, okay, I can't go have fun because I got to find a babysitter. And at that point, when the kids are so small, you're like, well, I don't want anybody just watching my kids. So you're not able to go out as much, or we weren't, because we didn't just want to trust anybody with our kids.
Yeah.
And then the other part is, us being new homeowners, new with, like I said, with a kid, me being new in my career, the money wasn't flowing like that to where we can just say, hey, let's just go out of town and go on vacations and do other stuff. Yeah, so we didn't have that. But so I kind of understood that it wasn't going to be what it used to be with, us having fun every day. I would say the one thing that I did think was going to be the same, and it's funny, is before, we got married and had kids, like I said, because we didn't have those type of responsibilities, all we could do is have fun. And like she mentioned about the spontaneous stuff, well, when I was at that point in time in my age and everything, in our lives, my mind thinking about, for us dating, we're going to be having sex all the time. And we did. We did before, we having kids. So we were having sex all the time. That's what made those kids come. That's what brought us those kids. We had sex all the time. And when we got married, and like I said, we just had our son, everything kind of happened, like it didn't happen the way that God intended it for it to happen, because like I said, we were shacking, we had our oldest son out of wedlock. So we were coming into the game kind of wrong, the wrong way anyway. So once we had our first son, my mind is still thinking, well, they don't change nothing. So we still going to be doing this. every day. And, you know, ain't no such thing as I'm tired and not, no, this is what we're going to be doing. And it wasn't until I had to actually think about it and be like, hold on. Like she mentioned, this is our first child. So she didn't know what it was going to take to do that. I didn't know what it was going to take. And I didn't even know. I know when we first had our oldest son, and, you know, she breastfed our oldest son. She breastfed both of our kids, but when she was breastfeeding them, she would be tired afterwards. And I'm like, why is she tired when she just sitting there? But I ended up finding out when people were like, no, that kind of drains the mother. And she would have, you know, like the little breast pumps that pump them. She would be tired afterwards. And a lot of people would say, yes, they're going to get tired. It kind of, I guess, drains the woman's energy, you know, the mother's energy. So, and then, like I said, she was working. And she was going to college to finish up getting her degree. Yeah. And then I had to realize, hold on, I'm asking too much for her, and she's tired. And the only way, you know, but I'm smart. So I'm smart. So me being smart, I'm like, okay, I can pay attention to trends, and I can say, all right, let me find a way to kind of mitigate this. So I had to say, you know what? Let me help feed the kids, change them diapers. I'll be the one to wake up in the middle of the night to feed the baby. Just pump your milk during the day, put it in the refrigerator, and in the middle of the night when they tired, I'll get up and I'll warm the milk up, feed them, change the diaper, everything, because I needed her to get her rest. Because she had to work, she had to go to school, and I need her to have energy for me, you know. I need her to have energy for me. And then plus I'm being, like I said, at that point I'm helping her. It is our kids, so, you know, I'm doing the right thing. But like I said in the beginning, I'm thinking like, no, this is what's going on. But that kind of covers some of the compromises where I couldn't just be like, well, I'm not helping do none of that stuff. You the mama, you do all that stuff. Right. And you wake up and feed the baby. I'm finna get my sleep, and I'm finna, you know, get my rest. You know, I got to go to work in the morning, but I'm like, yeah, I got to go to work in the morning, but so does she. You know, after them having a week she was off, like, she waking up going to work too. So I can help her. Right. In the middle of the night. So those were one of the things where it was kind of like the compromises I did. Like, let me be more of a help to her, to help feed our kids, change her diapers, especially late at night, because, like I said, I would wake up, and I think that was a reality check. I would wake up some nights, and the baby would be crying. Man, I think little Tonio for the first child, he would be crying, and you would literally be out of it. She'd be knocked out, and I'm like, she looked wore out. I'm like, I can't expect her to just automatically hop up, feeding him and do this stuff and this, and me just kick back and go to sleep, and then be expecting when I'm ready for something like, hey, she gonna be ready and what? No, she's tired. She's what? So I gotta do something that's gonna help give her some extra rest, you know. So we both win.
That's funny because I think one of the compromises that I made was I had to see that I still need to, you know, do what I need to do for my husband. Even though I was tired, I was just like, I'm just gonna have to. It wasn't like it wasn't pleasurable. It was just I was straight up stressed. I was tired. I'm like, this is way more than I thought. Because in my mind, I'm like, okay, raising a kid, they're cute. I don't see nothing. I don't understand like what's really the big deal about being a mom until you become one. And it's like, it's a lot of work. It is a lot of work. It's a lot of work being in school, working, you know, 40 hours a week, trying to, you know, being a wife, trying to figure out, okay, because my role was I needed to make sure I had food. It's so many things that I was just like, this is a lot. So one of the things that I made, one of the sex slowed down, just like he said, it did. It slowed down. It wasn't an everyday thing. But we still compromised on that. We didn't schedule sex, so we didn't do nothing like that. But one thing is, he compromised by we would still go out. We would still go out
and have fun. It just wouldn't be, it wouldn't be like what it was before we got married and had kids, where we were going out every weekend. Right. We were literally trying to go out every weekend and doing something. But then once we, you know, had more responsibilities, it's like, well, we can't do that every day, you know, or every weekend. So at that point, we started just saying, all right, well, it might not be every weekend we can go out, you know, especially because, like I said, that was during the same time where we just got a house, so we had more responsibilities
Bills.
and bills to where it's like, hey, we just can't be spending like that. So we would still make time to go out and have fun with each other. So it'd be going to people's house parties, or it'd be, we might just, like I said, this is before we was really following Jesus and living right. We going to clubs, we going all types of stuff. We doing all types of stuff, but we were still out having fun with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then as far as like she was mentioning the compromises with sex, it wasn't every day, but I would say early on, it would be something like, hey, at the minimum, I'm looking at it like, okay, I can deal with it being not every day, but okay, let's at least do it. The minimum, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna bear with you. The minimum is gonna be like 1 or 2 times a week. We can work with that. We can work with that 1 or 2 times a week. But in my head, like I said, we still needed to be able to connect with each other, because I'm like, that's what's gonna keep us close. It's not the only thing, but that helps keep you close. And like I said, that's before we were following, and trying to live the way we need to live. But even then, when we found out and started living right and looking at the word, God wants us to connect with each other.
Right.
He does.
Yeah.
He wants me to enjoy my wife. He wants my wife to enjoy me. So at that point, I'm like, we still gonna keep it going, because that's what helps keep you all close with each other.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be that, you think that because you get saved and you living right, that those areas got to suffer, and that'll be like the devil's way of kind of separating you all to keep you from being close, because you can have a lot of people who living for God, doing things right, but maybe the husband and wife don't really like each other like that. Like they love each other, but they don't really enjoy each other, and they're not being as intimate with each other as they should be. Mm-hmm. And once they start doing those things, it's going to start kind of intensifying all the other areas to where they're going to become like what God wants them to be, really become one. Yeah. Really become one, but you can't, you
cannot stop having sex.
Yeah, you gotta keep on having sex and being close with each other, and then all the other stuff, of course you're going to be trying to grow strong and grow with each other in the word. Mm-hmm. You're going to try to live right. Y'all, especially, so just think about that. If you all can get on the same page and become one financially, spiritually, physically, emotionally, you got your goals set the same. Just imagine what you all can accomplish and how you can create an unbreakable bond that is going to be super hard or tough for the devil to tear that apart. Because the devil going to look for any kind of way to break you apart. If y'all ain't together on y'all finances, and this person want to do this with the money, the other person he going to find a way to break in. If y'all got everything else together, y'all got y'all both believe in God, y'all living for Jesus and doing this stuff, but y'all ain't intimate with each other, that's going to break in right there. Because it's going to be like, man, we ain't having sex and I ain't did this.
We got needs.
Yeah, then at that point,
I got needs.
Yeah, it's going to be an issue. So all them areas, y'all need to make sure y'all are one, because y'all making it tough for the devil to tear y'all apart. Because the devil's going to try to tear any marriage apart. He hates marriage. So he's going to try to tear, I would say he hates marriage between a man and a woman. Yeah. He hates that marriage. He's going to try to tear that thing apart. He's going to try to tear it apart. So make it hard for him. Make it hard for him. Become one in all those areas.
That's right. I love it. Another thing is, you want to talk about the other negotiable, like us going out getting a babysitter, actually taking the time, because we was like, yeah, we still need to date and go out and have fun, and still really just remember, when you go out, I feel like it makes you remember, why did we get married? Like, I really like this guy. Like, I like my husband. I think he's fine. But yeah, it really makes it so that when you go out together and y'all have fun and you don't have the kids, it makes it to be, it's intimate time. You're going back to bonding and just rekindling what you already have. And to me, that's how you keep the marriage going too. Mm-hmm. So we compromised. We got us, one of the negotiables was getting us a babysitter, actually taking funds to pay a babysitter. The other thing is, well, we already talked about, we made time for sex, but another compromise that we made, Antonio can be very long-winded. So one of the things that I didn't think was fun was that we had to have very difficult conversations. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. And I was just like, I just want to have fun. Okay, tell me what I did wrong, and let's get it over with. Let it not be a whole hour.
How long
of him like roasting me.
No, see.
No. Hold on.
wouldn't be roasting.
It wouldn't be a roasting, so I'm exaggerating, trying to be funny. But it would be him. He would like just make sure he hone in on, hey, you did this, and this ain't make no sense. Tell me, what was you thinking? And it's like all the questions, and I'm stuck on question number 2. He done got to question number 45, and I'm I'm for real, and I'm just like, I'm still stuck on, well, why did I do that? Why is he so unhappy with me? What, and so the compromise was, I felt like you cannot ask me a million questions and give me no chance to answer them. So the compromise on Antonio's behalf was, I just said, the long-winded conversations. I love talking to my husband, but I almost felt like it was badgering, but that's because of my perception too, and because that's just how he was communicating as well. So what was your compromise on that one?
I had to, in a sense, just tone down I'm still working on this one. My tone, if you all notice, I kind of talk,
assertiveness.
I have assertiveness if it's something that I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
So if it's something I'm not passionate about, then nah. But if I'm passionate about it, I'm gonna kind of speak what I would say she may take as I'm being aggressive or assertive in that area. So we talking about something, and like she mentioned, it's not like the regular conversation. It's more of the hard conversations that we gotta have that you're gonna have as husband and wife, you know. So when we have those conversations, of course I'm gonna be passionate about it because it's my family. So at that point, I may end up my mannerism, my tone, my facial expressions, it may get to where I don't look at it like I'm being a certain way, but she may look at him like he's being intense in this situation, and it's making her feel to where like, oh, he's getting on me. It
would feel like he really think he's talking to a dude. Like, have you seen two men talk and then they both passionate, they loud, and they just expressing with their hands and things like that? Well, no, and then it's like, and I'm like, okay, he talking to me like I'm a little dude on the streets. Like, I'm your wife. I'm your girl. Remember that, please. But it would come off as just aggressive, and I'm just like, Tony, okay, you remember you gotta love on me now. Like, come on, let's chill. But it was also my perception, because it would be him he would be very passionate about it, but he also saw that he was just aggressive. Let's just call it what it was.
And then, like you said, I can be long-winded, especially if someone I'm passionate about. So I'll just keep talking about it, because at the end of the day, I'm looking for the end result. If there's an issue or a problem that we had, I want to get down to the root of it, and then I want to fix it. I want to try to, let's find a way for us to fix it. But then, like I said, the part I had to really tone down is my expectations is we finna have this conversation and it's gonna be fixed today. It's gonna be fixed today. We finna talk about it, talk through it, and it's gonna be solved right now. And that's unrealistic. That's unrealistic to where it's like, I can't just force that person's mind to get on where my mind is and think that it's gonna happen that quick. It had to be something where I had to understand, well, okay, I need to be a little bit more compassionate when I'm talking to her, to where I'm like, I'm understanding that if she's not getting what I'm saying or understanding what I'm saying, or she don't, maybe at that point she just don't agree with what I'm saying, that we can work through this. And I can still be understanding of her viewpoint. We can talk about it, and then we can revisit this. It don't have to be that I got to keep drilling this thing until she get it right then. Yeah. It got to be something where it might be multiple conversations we got to have to resolve the issue, versus it being, no, I just want to have this one conversation, and if it's 3 hours, it's going to be a 3-hour conversation, but it's going to get resolved. Yeah. I can't expect that. It has to be something where, like, no, we're just going to work on this item and keep on having discussions about it in little bitty pieces, to where eventually, like I said, we both can get on the same page and understand, what needs to be done to solve whatever problem that we're having. The part about, like I said in the beginning, the expectations. She mentioned, she was talking about having fun all the time. Mm-hmm. And the one thing that, like I said, I knew in the beginning that it can't be fun all the time, because we got more responsibilities now. And we became parents, homeowners, all this stuff. Mm-hmm. But the one thing that I was trying to get her to see on the front end is, it's going to be sacrifice season in the beginning. Yeah. Because we're new to household, having a house. We're new to like I said, raising kids. I'm trying to make sure our finances are together, make sure that we budget correctly and do all the things we need to do. And I was telling her that this is going to be for a season to where we can't have the type of fun you trying to have in the beginning stages. But if we can make it to the next season to where things are doing better for us financially, at that point, then we can start having the fun that she's been wanting to have and being able to go out of town, go on vacations and do these things. And that was able to happen for us once we start getting on the same page and working towards a plan of doing something. Another thing I just thought about it right now is our ideas of, like she said, our initial expectations. Our household, you know, how she grew up and how I grew up was different.
Oh,
it was way different. So when it comes to like fun and then everyday life, we were already on the opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Her family was able to go, you know, I guess they were doing better financially than my parents because they went on family vacations. They went on family vacations and they had fun. And then her family in general, they do stuff together and have fun. Whereas when we grew up, my parents, they weren't in the financial situation to where we went on family vacations. I don't think we've ever been, not until we got older, maybe like in our, probably in our 20s, all of my siblings, we were older, where we did something as a family on a vacation. But as a kid growing up, we didn't have family vacations. So I grew up thinking that that's normal, that, hey, this is what you just do. You just work. My dad would work, 1 job, 2 jobs. My mama might have 1 or 2 jobs, and they work and do stuff. We would make time to like go out to eat, go to the movies, go shop. But as far as like setting up time to go out as a complete family on vacations and do stuff all the time, having fun, we didn't do that. You know, but the part that, like I said, is kind of the opposite with us is my parents, we had, I would say, more structure in like the everyday life of running a household as far as like doing chores, making sure everyone's doing their part with cleaning and doing things like that, where on her side, they didn't particularly do those things. They were more so having fun. They were having fun. And so we get together and we're married. And at that point, it's like, hey, I got my expectations that we need to make sure all this stuff is together, fun to come later. Where her mind is like, well, she's on opposite end. Like, we need to be having fun the first thing, and then we'll handle the cleaning up later.
Yeah.
We got to clean it up and take care of stuff. We'll do that later. We need to have fun now. And we were on the opposite end, but that's what we had
discussions.
to... Mm-hmm.
It was like accountability discussions. We're going to clean this out and do chores. I'm like, I want to have fun first. What we talking about? Fun first.
Nah. But yeah, we still can have fun, but like I said, there has to be a balance, a healthy balance. But that's what I think about it. That's the beauty of it right there. The beauty of it right there. I came from a different upbringing than she did, but my strengths and my weaknesses combined with her strength and weaknesses give us that healthy balance.
Yeah.
To where I'm not just about taking care of business and making sure that I'm working hard, and, you know, bills paid, you know, house clean and this, whatever it is, and I don't have no fun. Mm-hmm. You know, and then she's not just, I'm just having fun and we don't have, who cares if it's the house clean? Who cares if other stuff? No, we complement each other to the point to where we can have a healthy balance. But the key was we had to learn how to utilize each other's strengths.
Yes.
We had to learn how to utilize each other and appreciate each other's strengths. Because in the beginning, like I said, I was looking at it like, man, like
why is she not doing this?
Why she not want to try to clean up and do this? And I'm just looking at, and all she want to do is have fun.
I
just want to have fun. And she don't want to do nothing. But like I said, I was looking at it as a weakness at first. I mean, it's a weakness because all she thinking about is fun. But then I started having especially when we had kids, and I would see that my kids want to have fun. Just because I grew up to the point to where we didn't get a chance to go on, like I said, family vacations to do stuff, my kids don't have to do the same thing. They don't have to grow up the same way. Mm-hmm. They don't have to grow up. So I don't want to be the party pooper that have it to where like, no, y'all finna grow up the exact way I did, to where, no, we ain't going on a vacation. We finna save this money and do this, and do this up. No, I need to make time to make these memories with my wife and with my kids. So what I would used to consider a weakness, it's a strength. I'm like, okay, so she's gonna bring the balance to my life to where I'm going to be able to have fun in this particular situation. Like she mentioned before, we both like to have fun when we were single. Yeah. But like I said, when we get married, it's like something kicked in my head. Like, oh, I got to be about strictly business now and taking care and raising this family. Like as soon as I get that responsibility of, I'm a husband. I'm a daddy. I'm a homeowner. You know what I'm saying? I got my career. As soon as I got that point, it's like all the responsibilities on me to where I'm just strictly thinking about business, taking care of business, making sure everything's straight, and the fun just got zapped out of me. The old fun me just got zapped out. Like, no, I got to take care of business. The fun will happen later. I got to take care of business. But it's like, no, I can do both. I just got to make sure I'm managing them correctly to where I'm not having, no, it ain't just fun. Yeah. You know, I'm offsetting hers. It ain't just fun. And then she offsetting mine. It ain't just about business. We got to have fun and make these memories with each other and with the kids. Yeah. So that's the key point is, like I said, finding out what are your initial, especially for newlyweds or people who are thinking about getting married, think about like, what are y'all initial expectations? What do y'all think it's going to be like? And then kind of think about reality-wise.
And how to overcome.
Yes.
Please don't get stuck in that. Because there's so many people that will be, well, I had to divorce my wife because she won't fun no more. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, how many people are in that situation now? They're probably now getting older and you looking back and you just like, it was not a smart thing to do. So be able to just look at the situation as, obviously this small thing is not enough to make me want to leave my husband. This small thing should not weigh enough for me to want to leave my wife. So think about those things. I mean, fun is not, it should not always be about fun. I learned that. I'm an older woman now, but initially I was like, it'll be fun every time. If it's not fun, I don't want it.
But you know what? The good thing about it is, if you all can get on the same page, and then the more you all mature and get on the same page, those dreams of it always being fun, it can come true. Yeah. Those dreams can happen. God can bless you and put you in situations or in circumstances, or I would say in a time of your life to where you can actually have it to where, yes, we having fun every day with each other. Yeah. Is fun.
We enjoy each other.
Every day is fun, and you have something to do. But like I said, it's not to say that there can't be other things that happen to where it's like, well, we do got to have this conversation, this tough conversation, or we do got to do something like, hey, we done had this fun. Now we need to clean up. Now we got to do this one. We got to fold these clothes. Let's fold these clothes. So like those, but like I said, you'll stop focusing on all the bad things of this ain't fun. We got to do. You start focusing on, look at all the times that we do have fun, all the times that we do enjoy each other. And if you can get your mind focused on those type of things instead of just all the downsides, because just like I mentioned before, I used to look at her wanting to have fun all the time as a weakness, as a downside. I'm focusing on just that's the downside. Like, man, she ain't trying to clean up. She ain't trying to fold the clothes. She ain't trying to do, wash the dishes. And it would be irritating. But I'm like, I'm focusing on the wrong thing. I need to be focusing on what are her strengths? How can I utilize her strengths? And if I just stay focused on what her strengths are and how to help that mitigate any of the things that I think is weaknesses or whatever, at that point I would be like, okay, we're gonna work on those areas. We're gonna work on those areas to where, okay, she'll be like, hey, let's fold these clothes, and it might be something where we have to do something where like, I'm gonna help you fold the clothes. We're gonna make it fun. We're gonna have some music on, and then we bumping music, folding clothes, just to make it fun, cause like So, but like I said, just stay focused on the positive things with each other. Especially if you are married for, forever, not to just married and then when things go bad, you want to throw the deuces at each other. If you're really trying to work this thing out and stay with each other forever, like God intended us to do, you're going to find a way to make it work, or you need to find a way to make it work. And pray about it. God will give you strength, give you long suffering, give you patience, give you understanding, and that's going to be a major key to make sure that you all can survive this thing and live and be married with each other forever.
I think one last non-negotiable was we just decided we was not gonna throw the D word around. We didn't.
What, deuces?
No.
What, deuces?
You know the word divorce.
The good what?
We didn't. No, we just decided that's not gonna be an out for us. So I think that's another thing. I think that was I don't know how we came up with it. What?
Well, for me, like I said, it goes back to the same thing of how we were with our household, how we were raised.
Mm-hmm.
In my household, my mom and dad been married. They would have been married probably like 50-some years now. I think 50-some years. And through the good, through the bad, the ugly, was good, whatever, they stuck with each other.
Right.
You know, and I would see them argue when things were going bad. And my mom may have some hurt from the past, or I remember when your daddy did this. But she would do all the complaining, but she would still stay.
Mm-hmm.
And then my dad would be mad and irritated, whatever, but he would still stay. So in my mind, it was automatically kind of imprinted in my mind that it's gonna you're gonna stick through it, and there's not gonna be any problem that you face that's gonna make you be like, I give up, because me seeing my mom and dad stick with each other through the hardest of times, you know, through all their struggles and different things, they stuck with each other. So it was, in my mind, it was an automatic, and it goes back to the same thing. Your initial expectations and reality, that's what I was expecting. So I was automatically expecting her to feel the same way. And the blessing behind it is she was.
Yeah.
Although her family situation wasn't the same thing.
Different.
It was different.
Mm-hmm. My parents got divorced, and then initially, I was just wanting him to be just my boyfriend, because I didn't want to face going to court, going through all the divorce. Because in my mind, I'm like, why get married if you're going to get a divorce? That just didn't make sense. But I felt like after, you know, falling in love and just being with him, and I'm like, I really want to be with him forever. I don't see myself not being without him. So that's the reason why I know for me, I'm just like, I don't even want to even entertain the idea of us not being together. Mm-hmm. So,
and then the other part is, like I said, I catch on to trends. I catch on to how things go, and I don't have to fall into a pit for me to learn my lesson. I watch somebody else fall in their pit, and I be like, I'm not doing what they do. So I've seen people, you know, family members, friends, or whoever that done got, you know, married and got divorced, and then I see the repercussions behind it and be like, no, I don't think I want that. I don't think I want that for my life. I don't think I want to be raising my, you know, I'm not trying to, you know, talk down against anybody who has, you know, who has, you know, gone through a divorce or anything. Right. It's just a route that I said, I don't want to take that route. Yeah. You know, I'm going to fight my hardest and try my best, you know, to make sure and pray that we can both stay in line and on the same page, to where that's something that we never have to deal with, because I've seen what it looks like, you know, and I'm like, I don't want that. I don't even want no pieces of that, to see how that goes and you know, the effects it has on, you know, not just the husband and wife, but the effects it has, you know, on the kids. And then, like I said, I don't want that to be, I guess, a trend in the sense to where my kids grow up seeing that. And what if they think that's okay?
That's normal.
What if they think that's normal? You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about what she said. Her parents got a divorce, but she made up her mind, I don't want that. You know, at first she didn't want to get married, but then, you know, she wasn't, you know, like, I never get married and this, but then, you know, she comes to this me, and so she had to marry me. But once we got married, she made up her mind that I'm not going to get you know, that's not something that we're going to do. Yeah. And I'm blessed for that, because she could have easily fell in that same curse. There's a curse that the devil bring on people right there, to where they think that's normal. Like, hey, if they're not acting right, you not happy, they not doing what you want them to do or whatever, divorce them and keep on moving and go find somebody else that's going to make you happy. You know, she could have easily been in that situation, or I could have been like that.
Yeah. But
I'm thankful for God that he had it to where both of us just so happened to be on the same page, and we decided to get married, and God has been blessing our marriage ever since. And like I said, I'm very thankful for God doing this for me. Like I said, even before we were actually even living for God, he had enough grace and mercy on my mind and on her mind for us to be like, hey, we're going to make this thing work. Because like I said, we could have easily got married, been frustrated with each other from all the difficulties of us having, like I said, initial expectations and then reality hitting in. We could have easily easily been like, this ain't what we signed up for. I don't like this. And been like, holler, and like, let's go find somebody else that's going to do the things. Let me go find a wife that's going to do the stuff I want her to do, because she not doing it. And she going to find a husband that do things that, we could have easily did that. And then we've been on our second marriage, third marriage, all that stuff. So, like I said, I'm thankful that he allowed us to have patience for each other and actually be long suffering and go through this with each other to the point that now we can be aligned and our minds can be on the same page. And we can, like I said, both of us be on the same page of actually being on fire for the Lord. Come on now. Like I said, it's a blessing all the way around. Like I said, God been blessing us. Ever since we got married, God been blessing us because he valued us being married. But then when we start actually living for him, the blessings been coming. Like I said, I can't do nothing but give God the credit for this because we had our time to try it on our just us without God. Like I said before, we wasn't doing nothing for God. We believed in God. We believe in God. We pray about it, pray our food. We pray. When we go to sleep. But was we living for Him? No, because we were living a contradictory life. We were actually saying we believe God, but we doing stuff we shouldn't be doing. We watching stuff on TV that we shouldn't be watching. We listening to music we shouldn't be listening to. But we love God. And then our kids listen to the music. Our kids watching shows. And it was like, we really not following the way He wants us to live. Right. But like I said, He was blessing us even before the end because of grace and mercy on us. Man. And then once we lined up, the blessing's been, superb. I said, blessing's been superb. Man, because think about it. Like I said, we had all them years to do it on our own. And it was a constant battle. Trying to use my mind, trying to use her mind, and our ideas. It was a constant uphill battle trying to make this thing work and trying to do anything that we want to accomplish, trying to make it work. But as soon as we align our life up with what God's will is, like I said, at that point, it started coming easy. Everything is just happening way easy. And I'm like, and it made me reflect back like, why did it take me so long? Why did it take us so long? You know what I'm saying? To get to this point. And I put it on me because, like I said, with me being the husband, I'm responsible for leading my wife and my kids. I'm responsible for that. And I got to take the good and the bad. So the bad part will be, the good part is, hey, we doing stuff right now and we good. My kids lined up with God and we doing things right. But I gotta take the bad. Look how long it took us. Yeah. Look how long it took us. But like I said, I'm not gonna just linger on that because I'm moving forward. If God gonna forgive me for my past and all the sins and everything and wash all that away, I can't be thinking about that. All I'm thinking about is the future. Right. And I'm looking at the future for my family and the generational blessings for my sons. You preaching. Man, hey, He gonna bless us from 1,000 generations. Come on. My son, our sons, grandson, great-great-grand, all of them gonna be blessed all their days because we living right. We living right. I don't even know how we got on all this. We gonna be talking about fun and life, but that's God is fun. But that's a part of the thing where hey, like I said, it has to do with the everyday life. Well, God plays a big piece of the everyday life for us, and like I said, that's right there is gonna bring you so much joy to where you can have fun, you can cherish these moments that you have. Like I said, we have fun. Man, I can just be good. Let's go get something to eat at a Mexican restaurant. And me and my wife just go get some food from a Mexican restaurant and we sit and talk to each other. And we chilling, eating. The kids at the house. We're going to bring them something back, but we got our time with just me and her. Yep. And then, like I said, we go places.
It be something simple as going to Walmart. I'm like, I'm going on a date. It was not like that at first, but yeah, I'm like, I get to go on a date with my man. So.
But like I said, you start, putting God first and actually, living the way He wants you to live. You're gonna have joy and you're gonna cherish moments with your family member because, like I said, it might be like, man, you ain't doing like she said, going to Walmart. You can be like, man, what's how you enjoying your spouse going to Walmart? Let something happen to that spouse. And you go to Walmart, you be wishing somebody would be in Walmart walking through the aisles with you shopping. You'll be like, man, I remember when my wife, I wish she was here with me. So like I said, I'm going to cherish every moment. What are we going to do? And make it fun. We're going to have fun. We'll be joking about stuff. So,
All right. Well, that's the end of this video. We thank you guys for watching for this long. And subscribe to our channel. We would love to hear from you. What do you think we need to talk about next?
See, that's a part of that long-windedness of me talking, so that's how the video got so long.
Love y'all.
Bye.
Bye-bye.